What's up YouTube? Kara here from the Roaming Richardsons, bringing you along for another video in our Scenic Drive series. Today we are taking you across the iconic Independence Pass in Colorado. This scenic drive reaches an altitude of 12,095 feet, crosses over the Continental Divide, and gives visitors 360-degree panoramic views. We will also be showing you a few hidden gems and scenic stops along the way that you do not want to miss. I drove over Independence Pass in the beginning of June by myself while in Colorado for the 2025 GoPro Games. Dwayne and I returned together around 6 weeks later in July. In June, there was still quite a bit of snow left over from winter, but by the time that we came back in July, all of the snow had melted and was replaced with a myriad of wildflowers. I decided to include footage from both visits in this video so that all of our viewers at home can see the difference in the climate from the beginning of summer to mid-season. Just know, for the sake of not getting the footage confused, if there's snow visible, it's probably footage from June, and if there isn't any snow, it's likely from our return to the area in July. To get on Independence Pass, you'll head west on I-70 from Denver or I-70 east if coming from Grand Junction. You don't have to do this little extra bonus scenic route, but we took a detour over Loveland Pass while on this day trip. We have a separate video about Loveland Pass here on the channel under our Scenic Drives playlist that you may want to check out. But to describe Loveland Pass quickly, it's a pretty short detour off of I-70 that takes visitors to an altitude of 11,990 feet and crosses over the Continental Divide as well. Of course, when I was rerouted over Loveland Pass in June due to a wreck on I-70, the snowpack was crazy. When Dwayne and I visited in July, however, it had completely melted. We also stopped at Pass Lake just beyond the summit and highly recommend that area as well. We're walking back to our car. We were just saying in Georgia, the Fort Mountain State Park area is a really pretty area. You have the rocks, the big boulders, and the wildflowers and grass and trees and all of that. But it is so humid in the summer that you can't really enjoy it unless you go at the crack of dawn or maybe at sunset. Maybe. In the fall, yeah, the mosquitoes are out, that's true. In the fall, it's really pretty, but I would still wait till, I don't know, end of October probably. It's just so miserable. It's hot here, but without the humidity, it's very tolerable. After taking some time to explore and enjoy Loveland Pass, we continued onward through Arapahoe Basin, eventually getting onto Highway 24 South. This took us through an old mining town called Leadville or Leadville. I'm not sure which way you say it, but I pronounce it Leadville usually. The Arkansas River headwaters pedestrian area is in this region if that's something that you might be interested in, but we just didn't have enough time on this day to stop there. Just south of Leadville, near a town called Twin Lakes, we took Highway 82 West, which leads you directly over Independence Pass. This road also passes several lakes, campgrounds, and recreation areas. I really wanted Dwayne to see the Mount Elbert picnic area because I fell in love with it when I was there by myself in June. For some reason, Google Maps calls this area the Big Mac fishing site, but when we're there, we noticed that there were plenty of signs that said otherwise. Despite both visits here being on a summer weekend, the Mount Elbert picnic area was virtually empty. There are picnic tables, restrooms, biking and walking trails, and fishing spots here. This would actually be a great spot to spend a whole day, and we may do so in the future. Not too far beyond the Mount Elbert picnic area down Highway 82 West is a trailhead called Willis Gulch. I believe it's within the city limits of Twin Lakes, but we highly recommend stopping here on your way up to Independence Pass. There is a small, easily accessible parking lot alongside the road and a bridge that crosses over the creek. We are at Lake Creek, and I didn't get to see this when I was by myself back in June, and I came to visit there. But I've got Dwayne with me now. I have the muscle man. Just a second ago, I said this was Lake Creek. It isn't. The sign right here says it is Willis Creek. I see it right there. And you know what else I see? An Aspen. And I, Kara Richardson. Okay, I also hear something in the bushes. I will touch a different aspen in a few minutes. This is the Willis Creek Bridge. My handsome hubby is already up on it. Looks like he's trying to take a picture too. Look at that. What do you think, Dwayne?
Dude, look at that down that way.
I know. Oh, from this side of the bridge, you're right. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to hold the GoPro still and just be quiet so we can hear it. Upon standing on the metal bridge, you have a beautiful view of the creek with the mountains in the background. There were quite a few aspen trees here also, and I'm sure in the fall when they start turning yellow, this area would be even more amazing to see. After checking out Willis Gulch, we continued up toward Independence Pass and made several stops along the way to take in the scenery. One of the best places to stop on the way up is at the North Fork Lake Creek Trailhead. So the next stop that we're going to do, it's hard to see, but there's a little post or something up there on the top. And we're going to stop up there. I hear Dwayne flying the drone. He's going to try to get some really good aerial footage for us. The creek twists and turns through this valley, and it's a great spot to do some wildlife viewing as well.
Y'all looking rough, girls.
What you doing? Hello. Greetings from Georgia. Looking at me like, girl, don't talk to me. We are not friends. Not too far beyond North Fork is another pull-off up on the hill in a curve that looks out over this valley. I think we could have sat here all day long and just marveled at God's creation from this viewing point. I think Dwayne is ready to kill me because
She can't find anything. She said, "Where's the GoPro? It's right here."
this menopause situation, I can't find or remember anything. It is wild.
She's killing me.
Making my final descent to the top of Independence Pass in June looked vastly different in comparison to what Dwayne and I experienced about a month and a half later. In June, the trailhead was still covered in snow, and I had to strategically walk through it and hop over the chain fence to access the pavement trail to the viewing deck. Thankfully, the pavement trail had completely melted because it's in direct sun, so I was able to walk easily to the viewing deck. In July, however, it was completely clear. Don't judge an old lady. Got my hood on because the wind makes it really cold, but I do still have on my shorts. Whew. 12,000 feet, Betty. It is not playing. Us North Georgians are out of breath. Check out this view. Very short walkway and a lot of people on it, or else I wouldn't do it. I'm big on safety, so I'd be carrying this. Yep. All right. This is it, folks. Are you ready? Here it is. All right, Independence Pass 360. Here we go. These folks down here said they're from Louisiana. A familiar southern accent down there. There it was. This is awesome. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. A little windy. Well, we made it to Independence Pass. We are doing the short walk, it's paved, up to the viewing point, the scenic area. But we are at 12,095 feet, and we have actually both been a little out of breath, but neither one of us would have altitude sickness at all. So, excited for Dwayne to see it. Silhouette, just follow them. This looks so different than when I was here 6 weeks ago. There was snow everywhere. The old people are struggling to walk up this hill. The wind is pretty bad up here right now, so I think we're a little afraid to fly the drone. We borrowed it from a friend since mine broke a year or two ago.
Crash landing.
Yes, we did, sadly. I'm gonna zoom in though and try to get a beautiful view back this way. Look at that. The sun's back behind the cloud. Isn't that gorgeous? In June when I was here, I drove all the way over to Aspen, got back onto I-70 East, and headed toward my hotel in Vail. I'll be honest, it was a really long loop to make, and the scenery kind of dies down once you exit Aspen. So I didn't recommend that Dwayne and I do that again when we came back in July. But if you ever do decide to drive all the way over to Aspen, be sure to look out for the one-lane sections of road where everything narrows. It scared me quite a bit, so I don't really suggest doing this, but thankfully I didn't meet anyone coming toward me. July, we decided to drive just a few miles further over the summit of Independence Pass just to try to find Independence Pass Ghost Town in the abandoned mine area. We didn't really have enough time to explore this area, but I think we both regret not doing so. Our hotel was just so far away and the daylight was already starting to fade when we got to this spot. Hopefully, though, we can go back there someday and check it out. If you've ever been there and explored the ghost town, we would love to hear about your experience down in the comments below. We're at 10,900 feet. Independence Ghost Town. We don't really have time to walk down in there. It takes about 2.5 hours to get back to our hotel, but we did want to stop and read about the history of it. You can hear the creek or the river. Dwayne and I drove back over the summit of Independence Pass the way that we came, and I'm really glad that we did this. The views going back down in the opposite direction were spectacular, and we even caught a beautiful sunset near the Mount Elbert picnic area as we passed it back by. This was a really long day. It was about 2 hours one way from Denver to get to the top of Independence Pass, plus we also stopped quite a bit, and then another 2 hours from the summit to get all the way back. I'm really thankful we did it though. In the future, I think I would rather spend at least 2 or 3 days in this area so we could fit in some hiking, but all in all, we both said that Independence Pass gets a 10 out of 10 rating for us. Snow-capped mountains, wildflowers, creeks, lakes, evergreens, that is our version of heaven. I hope you guys enjoyed this video at home, and if you ever get the opportunity to explore this area, let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to also give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to check out the other videos on our channel as well, particularly those under our Scenic Drives playlist, and come back regularly for new content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, God bless.